Nuzlocke runs become a staple in the Pokemon community. For those who don't know, a Nuzlocke is a set of self-imposed rules a person puts on themselves when completing a Pokemon game in a way to make it more challenging. There are some professional Nuzlockers who go incredibly hardcore, and then there are more the beginners who have given themselves an easier set of rules so it's not too daunting for them to complete. Hi there, my name is Sarivi and I've been playing Pokemon since 2002. If you do the math to figure out my age, I will find you and hunt you down. After recently falling back in love with Pokemon again, I decided it was finally time to embark on my first Nuzlocke run. I chose Pokemon Shield because I'd only ever played through it once and then never touched it again. So there was a lot I forgot or just didn't really take in during my first playthrough. The rules I've given myself are simple. I can only catch the first Pokemon I encounter in every route. I have included each section of the wild areas but have limited it to no overworld Pokemon. All Pokemon must be nicknamed so I grow more attached to them when I inevitably button mash and get one shot. If a Pokemon faints, they are dead and can never be used again. Just to note, I didn't make this a rule, but I have tried to be as close to the gym leader's levels as I could, and it does get a little bit strange at various points towards the end. Now, with that all out of the way, let's get our journey started. We begin our journey in Postwick, meeting our buddy Hop, who will become our rival, who, by the way, wants to battle an incessant number of times in this game. It's actually quite infuriating. I make my way to Wedgehurst and meet Hop's older brother and definitely party boy Leon, and receive our starter Pokemon, Boots the Score Bunny. From there, we go into No Man's Land to save a runaway sheep. Yes, that one Wooloo who was bashing a fence for God knows what reason, decided it'd be a good idea to continue rolling into the fog. From there, we get our first encounter in Cheeks the Squavette, meet Sonia in the research lab, find the nearest H&M, catch Barry the Blipbug, battle Hop again already, who then also finds 2 wishing stars to turn into Dynamax bands. In the wild area, we catch Pigtails the Bunnelby, Cora the Growlithe, Candace the Snorunt, Beyblade the Baltoy, and who I think is the MVP of this entire run, and you will find out why, Stressball the Stuffle. Oh yeah, Barry also evolved. However, time was cut short after running into a level 34 Machoke in the wild area while being level 14. Yeah, that's enough for me, so I threw a plushie of Boots at his head and bolted. We arrive in Motorstoke, and after getting a terrible haircut, Sonia tells us a little bit about the hero of the Galar region, and we rest up for the night to watch the gym challenge's opening ceremony the following morning. We fly back to Wedgehurst and pick up Mittens, the Galarian Slowpoke, and before we even head to Route 3, we have our third battle with Hop. Anyway, Boots evolves into a boot, we catch Steve the Rookidee, explore the Galar mines, picking up Pebble the Roly-Coly, fight Bede and his silly psychic Pokemon, and catch Frosting the Milcery before arriving in Turffield. Before we even have a chance to breathe, Sonia and her mutt give us a lecture on crop circles before we finally take on the Turffield Gym Challenge, which was herding sheep. Whatever. It also did take me an embarrassingly long length of time to complete. Once that was done, we were ready to enter the stadium and face Milo and his grass types. Boots deals with both his Gossifleur and Eldegoss with ease, nabbing us the grass badge. After that, we continue onwards, receiving an electric bike because we beat up some parasocial Marnie fans, as well as, you guessed it, battling Hop again. This is our 4th time before the second gym. 4 times! Arriving in Hulbury, and it's at this point I'm beginning to feel a little uncertain on how this next gym battle is going to go. Of all the things to remember from my first Pokemon Sword and Shield run, I do vividly remember her Gigantamax Dreadnought and how much of a pain it can be. It'll be okay though, right? Wrong. Anyway, I grab Lennon the Toxel from the daycare ladies, we meet Uliana and Rose face to face who want to talk with us after we struggle against, demolish, Nessa's gym. Speaking of, we go to the lighthouse because Nessa has taken too long of a lunch break and we take on the Hulbury Gym Challenge. After defeating all the trainers and dealing with the water puzzle, we were ready to face Nessa. Stressball takes out Goldeen and Aracuda with ease, but then out came Dreadnought. Now, I had no idea how to deal with this because we had not a single grass type in our entire run we could use. I heal stored the Gigantamax phase with Stressball, and then when her health got into the red, I knew I'd have to sacrifice someone. And looking at my entire team, yeah, it had to be Barry. He didn't even get a chance to really do anything in any of the fights, but he will be remembered as the first casualty of the run. The losses don't stop there though. Stupidly, I didn't really do any research into how strong my Pokemon were and also how bulky Nessa's were, so I sent out Boots to try and kill Dreadnought with a double kick. Shockingly, not shockingly at all, it did barely anything, and he got one shot by a Razor Shell. I sent out Stressball, who dodged Dreadnought's last attack, who then fell to a payback, winning us the water badge. Before meeting Rose, we needed to sort out our team a little, adding Cora and the newly evolved Pigtails to the squad. On our way out of Hulbury, we caught Luna the Chinchou and made our way to the second Galar Mines. Now, idiotically, I stumbled into the bead fight with no heals whatsoever, and instead of being smart and realizing that Pigtails, being a ground type, would be great for the next gym fight, I let her die like an idiot. Well, this won't be the last time this happens. After Luna and Kara take care of Beard, we added Pebble to the team because I knew Kabu has a Center Scorch for an ace, and he'll be very helpful for that. He also evolved into a Carco, which makes things a lot easier. As if my experience in the Galar mines couldn't get any worse, I stupidly forgot that Wimpod is the biggest baby on the planet and ran away before I could catch it, losing us an encounter for the area. We beat some female grunts, we found Kabu, and made our way back to Motorstoke. Oh yeah, Stressball and Luna also evolved just in time for the next gym, so that's great. Before taking on Kabu's gym challenge, we fought Marnie, and Stressball just kind of obliterated her entire team. From there, I killed 5 Pokemon in the gym challenge, walked through to the stadium, ready to face Kabu. Luna made quick work of his Ninetales and Arcanine, and a Dynamaxed Pebble got rid of his Center Scorch, earning us our 3rd gym badge. Pop gets bullied by a guy with a Wooloo on his head as we start exploring the northern part of the wild area. On our way to Hammerlock, we pick up Rio the Impidimp, who quickly evolves into a Morgrem, as well as Diva the Esper. Lennon also evolved, so that's great. I found a Strawberry Sweet in Hammerlock, which let me evolve Frosting into an Alchemy by spinning on the spot, who then got put straight back in the box. Before heading out of Hammerlock, I got my haircut and changed my outfit for what felt like the 100th time in this run already. Sonia met us at the vault, explaining that the Darkest Day was thwarted by 2 heroes instead of 1. Making our way through Route 6 into Stow-on-Side, I decided to head back to the wild area to pick up a Dawnstone so Candace could evolve into a Frostlass. Before we even get a chance to even walk up the stairs towards the gym, however, Hop challenges us yet again to another battle, which was a pushover, but did allow Pebble to evolve into a Colossal. Ready to take on the gym challenge, we played pinball for about 5 minutes because I did try to leave the area to heal my Pokemon, and I had to redo the whole course. However, the challenge was completed, and we were ready to face Alistair. Rio makes quick work of his Yamask and Cursula, Pebble deals with the Mimikyu, and Candace Dynamaxes to take out his Gengar with ease, earning us our 4th gym badge. Outside the stadium, Bee destroys a ruin, getting himself disqualified from the gym challenge, while Sonia deduces that 2 heroes from the Darkest Day story were actually Pokemon. After everything settles down, we head into the Gumwood Tangle and catch Griselda the Oranguru. However, not before she one-shots Lennon with a stored power, which was painful. Therefore, we add Steve to the team, who evolves into a Corviknight. Arriving in the beautiful town of Balanlea, we are able to catch our breath and prepare ourselves to face Opal, who has previously been stalking us in the lead up to her gym challenge. Now, Opal is a Fairy-type user, which is why it's so irritating to have lost Lennon when we did. However, Steve's evolution into a Steel-type will really help for this upcoming fight. Starting the gym challenge, Opal reveals that she's trying to find her successor and begins giving us an interview during our matches. After plowing through the gym trainers, we are ready to face Opal. Steve doesn't even sweat this entire fight and absolutely demolishes her Weezing, her Mawile, her Togekiss, and her Gigantamax Alchemy, earning us our 5th Gala gym badge. Hitching a ride with us back to Hammerlock, Opal finds Bede and becomes obsessed with him and decides that he's going to train to be her successor. It's kind of a weird fever dream if you ask me. Anyways, we face Hop again, and on Route 8, we catch Stumpy the Dusclops. While leaving Route 8, we run into a double battle of Steel types where the absolute worst happens. Rio is sand-tombed before I have the chance to switch him out, so he gets stuck, and he gets killed by an Excadrill's Metal Claw, which was a really tough hit to the team considering there are 2 gym leaders coming up we would have been perfect against. The fight starts to really go south, but Stressball comes in clutch and hammer arms literally everything. Excadrill squished, Lucario squished, Berserker squished, and with that close call out of the way, we arrive in Sir Chester. Now, remember when we fought Alistair? Well, if you're playing Pokemon Sword, instead of fighting him, you'd be fighting Bee, a fighting type user. This is a similar situation with the 6th gym challenge. In this game, we will face Melanie and her ice types. In Pokemon Sword, you fight Gordy and his rock types. And since we have Pebble, Stressball, and Steve on the team, I'm very glad we are playing Pokemon Shield. After traversing what I can only refer to as the budget version of Hoenn's Sutopolis City's gym puzzle, we are ready to face Melanie. Pebble makes light work of her Frosmoth and Darmanitan, and Stressball finishes off Ice Cube. I did have to heal stall a little when Gigantamax Lapras came out because that thing packs a punch and I did not expect that. Luna then comes out and discharges it to death, and we have sushi for dinner. After defeating Melanie and earning our 6th gym badge, Sonia becomes a little too obsessed with Bob when trying to decipher another one of the hero's tapestries. Hop then battles me out of the blue. That gave me time to tie my shoelaces. On Route 9, we catch Pinchy the Kingler, and while I was grinding, fighting Team Yellgrunts, Steve gets one shot by a Linoon with counter. Now this one hurt a lot because I love Corviknight. However, life moves on, and out goes Steve, and in comes Diva, who is now a Meowstick. Arriving in Spikemouth, Marnie lets us sneak in the back entrance as long as we fight her. Not shocking at all, we find out that Team Yell are actually Spikemouth gym staff who are running around supporting Marnie so she can be champion. We then find her brother Piers as the gym leader and begin to take him on. Frosting takes out Scrafty, and Pebble finishes off Malamar. Stressball one-shots Obstagoon and squashes Skuntank pretty easily, earning us our 7th gym badge. Piers wants Marnie to take over the gym, which she refuses, but before I get the chance to listen to the entire family squabble, an explosion happens on Route 9. Turns out Leon had to deal with a randomly Dynamaxing Pokemon out of nowhere. We make our way back to Hammerlock, ready to face the final gym challenge of the Galar region. Now this one is a little bit different. With all the previous gym challenges, we've had trainers with Pokemon of the same type as the gym leader. However, this gym challenge specializes more so in double battles than anything else. The gym trainers have different weather teams, which is a very interesting task to take on. Having little trouble, we successfully beat all 3 trainers and are ready to face Raihan. Candace makes quick work of Flygon, and Luna takes out Sandaconda and Gigalith. I got a little bit silly, I will admit, trying to predict what Duraludon would do, and while trying to switch Candace out into a fighting type move, she gets hit with a max Rockfall and gets obliterated, which was so stupid of me. Froslass is one of my favourite Pokemon, and this stung like hell to lose her. I Dynamax Stressball to finish off Duraludon, earning us our 8th and final gym badge. Now after losing Candace, we bring in Stumpy, who is now a Dusknoir, and make our way towards Winden. On Route 10, Luna died to a Mudsdale like I hadn't just been spam clicking and forgot about type matchups. We bring in Pinchy the Kingler, and after battling through the very large number of trainers, we make it to Winden. The Champions Cup tournament begins, and our first opponent is Marnie, and I'm not pulling any punches, and neither is Stressball. We've lost way too many allies to get to this point and lose. She takes out Liepard and Morpeko with her Hammer Arm, Alchemy one-shots Scrafty, Diva launches Toxicroak into the stratosphere, and Pebble cooks Gigantamax Grimmsnarl, earning us our first victory. Our time to be proud was cut short as we were immediately thrown into our final fight with Hop. Now, I don't know why they wrote it like they were trying to make us scared that he won his first match so convincingly, when we've beaten him at least like 5 to 7 other times, but anyway, whatever. Stressball takes out his double Snorlax and Pinchurchin, Pebble melts Corviknight, and then we bring in Stressball to finish off Rillaboom, earning us our semi-final victory against our longtime rival. Also, did anyone else notice the amount of British lexicon Hop uses? Just me? Okay. That same evening, Leon didn't show up for dinner, so we played hide and seek with one of Oleana's henchmen and got Piers to start busking so we could take the elevator up to Rose Tower and figure out what is taking Leon so long. At the top of the tower, we find Oleana, who has gone absolutely crazy in her devotion to Rose, and begins to fight us. Stressball takes out Froslass with a Brutal Swing, Pebble heat crashes Serena, Stumpy electrocutes her Milotic, Pinchy one-shots Salazzle, and a Dynamax Diva takes out her Gigantamax Garbodor. We meet Leon and Mr. Clownshoes and head back to the hotel for dinner, while Rose mutters to himself suspiciously. The next stage of the competition requires us to face the gym leaders all over again, but this time they're much stronger. Our first match is against Bede, who has now become indoctrinated to like fairy-type Pokemon. He leads off with Mawile, which falls easily to Pebble. Stumpy takes out his Gardevoir and Rapidash, with Pinchy finishing off Bede and his Gigantamax Hatterene, earning us the win. Our next opponent is Nessa, and she was really the only gym leader we had any trouble with in our entire journey up to this point, so I was very worried we'd lose some valuable members in this fight. But I stood strong, and we began the fight. Stumpy Will-O-Wisps Gliscopod early, and he hits the panic button and emergency exits after being hit with a Thunder Punch. Stressball takes out Barraskewda, Stumpy comes back in to one-shot Pelipper, takes out her Seaking, and finishes off Gliscopod, while a couple of Max Knuckles from Stressball was more than enough to deal with Nessa's Gigantamax Dreadnought, earning us our second win in the championship finals. The third match is a rematch against Alistair, and this is a great fight because most of my team got a bit of action. Stressball took out Dusknoir, Pinchy Razor Shelled Chandelure, Stumpy punched Poltergeist, Pebble finishes off Cursula, and we brought out Stressball to finish off Gigantamax Gengar, earning us our third win. Our final match before we faced Leon was against Raihan, which I knew was probably going to be the toughest match yet, and we've done really well to not lose any members of the team so far. He leads off with Torkoal, and after a couple of hammer arms from Stressball, who was also terrified of Torkoal using a fire-type attack in the sun, considering Stressball's ability makes her more susceptible to take damage from fire-type moves, because she's a stuffed animal. Pebble comes in and launches rocks at Torkoal to finish him off. Frosting one-shots Flygon with a Dazzling Gleam, and Pinchy chips away at Tortonator before Pebble comes in to finish the job. Frosting comes back out to deal with Goodra, Duraludon began hitting my team incredibly hard after getting attack boost from its Max Knuckle. I knew I needed to get a clean switch in as well as heal one of my Pokemon up to win this fight, but that required a sacrifice. After debating on who would be more essential for the upcoming Leon fight, I decided that Diva, who we added more recently but was doing a lot of work for the team, was going to need to set up Reflect and die. 07's to you, Diva. Stressball, the MVP, then comes in and superpowers Duraludon to avenge her fallen comrade, earning us our last win before we face Leon. Replacing Diva, we bring in Beyblade, the newly evolved Claydol, who has been sat in the box for a very long time, since the first wild area. We head on out to the pitch for our final match against Champion Leon. Before we even get the chance to fight him, Chairman Rose interrupts the match by setting off another Darkest Day. Hop and I head to the Slumbering Weald to reawaken the heroes of Galar and grab a rusted sword and shield before returning to Hammerlock to head to the energy plant to confront Rose, who cannot be reasoned with, so we are forced to fight him. You know, it's a Pokemon game. Pebble takes out Escavalier, Ferrothorn, Klinklang, and Berserker with ease, while Stressball comes out and two-shots his Caparaja with Max Knuckle, giving us the quick win, allowing us to head upstairs in the lift to help Leon fight Eternatus, the Pokemon responsible for Dynamaxing and causing the Darkest Day. We meet Eternatus, and with the help of Beyblade's Psychic and Ground moves, as well as Pebble's Bulk, we were able to defeat him before he exploded and turned into Eternamax Eternatus, looking quite reminiscent of a Souls-like boss. With the help of Zacian and Zamazenta, we were able to subdue Eternatus and catch him before the two good boys headed back into the wild. Eternatus, this being of almighty Dynamax power, is now a prisoner to the written box. 3 days passed and the match versus Leon has been scheduled to decide if there would be a new Galar champion. It had all come down to this match. My first Nuzlocke run. The countless number of allies we have lost along the way to some crazy trials and tribulations, and to my own stupidity. I'd worked hard for this moment, and so I walked onto the pitch, greeted Leon, and prepared to give it everything I had. I lead with Dusknoir to Will-O-Wisp Aegislash, who is almost certain to lead with King Shield. I then use Shadow Punch to take him out when he stance switches. Frosting comes out to deal with Dragapult, and Stressball Hammer Arms the hell out of Haxorus. Pebble melts Mr. Rhyme, not without taking a reasonable amount of damage though in the first place. I now realize that we have Inteleon and Gigantamax Charizard as our last two opponents. Pebble needs healing in order to deal with Charizard, and for that to happen, I need to use one of my turns to heal him. It was with a heavy heart that I decided to sacrifice Stumpy in order to defeat Leon, as she had already done her job earlier when defeating Aegislash. Thanks, Stumpy. Frosting takes out Inteleon with a few Dazzling Gleams, and out comes Leon's ace, Gigantamax Charizard. I had prepared for this. I knew that if I could live a single Max Rockfall from Charizard, that Pebble would be able to one-shot him with his own quad-effective Max Rockfall. I stand there, biting my nails, as his move hit, and yes, we lived. One Max Rockfall from Pebble, and we did it. We became champion. We won. Finally, after over 20 years of playing Pokemon, I finally attempted and beat my first Nuzlocke. We did lose many friends along the way. We lost Barry, Boots, Pigtails, Lennon, Rio, Steve, Candice, Luna, Diva, and finally Stumpy. This victory could not have been done without any of them. Thank you so much. And that's the end of my first ever Pokemon Nuzlocke. Please let me know what you thought and what game you'd like me to Nuzlocke next. I had a lot of fun recording, writing, and editing this video, and I'm excited to do more. If you liked the video, please remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos just like this one. You can also follow me on Twitter at Surivi, as well as my Twitch. Links are in the description below. Thanks for watching and happy catching.